Hi, I'm Karen Jones and I'm the editor of Citywealth and the judge of the Brand Management Awards, which are coming up for the winners, the announcements on Monday, the 5th of October. We welcome some key voices from the industry on brand and marketing, and here they are now to share their views. Delighted to welcome Matt Tabb, who is Chief Marketing Officer at Equium. Hello, Matt, how are you?
I'm well, Karen, I'm well. Nice to see you.
So hot seat questions, Matt. We want to get the best marketeers in front of us to get their answers to some key questions. So what is the best brand you've ever seen?
What is the best brand I've ever seen? I mean, there are so many. It's a tricky one to answer. I guess it comes down to those brands that are able to deliver their proposition in an unexpected and sort of disruptive way. I spent a long time in consumer marketing, so things like Cadbury's and their Gorilla always puts a smile on people's faces. The John West Bear ad, those things that are unexpected, disrupt the market, and we don't see enough of that in our sector, I don't think.
We welcome Kirsten Burke. She's the founder and director of Burke Consulting. The best marketing or brand that you've ever seen?
Well, if we talk within financial services, my favorite brand is American Express, just because they have such a good strength of client positioning. They know who their customers are. They know what they're going to be about. And at least, when I was growing up in the US, such a strong brand for travel, being there for you through thick and thin as you traveled, really empowering a certain kind of lifestyle. I think of all the mainstream brands, they've done the best job of really giving the whole look and feel of being for a certain sort of clientele and make you feel like you're really looked after and cared for from a service point of view.
Today we're delighted to welcome Oliver Treganing, and he's head of marketing at JM Fin. What is the best brand or marketing you've ever seen?
Good morning, Karen, and thanks for having me today, and thanks again for shortlisting us for the Brand and Reputation Management Awards. We're really excited about that. To answer your question, what is the best brand? I mean, boringly, I'm a big fan of Apple and have loved watching them get to the dizzying heights of the world's most valuable brand. But closer to home, the brand that I am full of admiration of is a British brand that's been tackling the Swiss luxury watch sector, and that's Bremont. And if you don't know them, they've got the most amazing story, and that story permeates across everything that they do, all their marketing and their services and their products. So very, very, very much worth watching there. And maybe within financial services, I've been loving watching the challenger brands recently, and they've been investing an awful lot in their brand. But it'll be really interesting to see how they can take that brand and convert it into bottom line success in the future.
Welcome, Gloria Mavangira, and she is marketing executive at the Oak Group based in Guernsey. So Gloria, how are you?
Hi Karen, I'm well, thanks. Thank you for having me.
The best marketing or brand you've ever seen?
I think every time I get this question, about the best brand, the first one that comes to my mind is Coca-Cola. I think the great thing about marketing is that the fundamental principles are transferable across industry. And Coca-Cola is a brand that has enjoyed massive recognition. It's an iconic logo, iconic product, and iconic packaging. Everybody knows that, Coca-Cola bottle shape, and the marketing team behind that brand has never been complacent. Even though we all know what Coca-Cola is, year on year, they're aiming to delight with various campaigns, customized campaigns for that matter. And I think we've heard it so many times said that Coke doesn't sell a drink in a bottle, it sells happiness in a bottle. So they focus more on the brand and not the product.
Crisis marketing. So we've all had COVID in front of us. We've had a good look at crisis marketing. So what's your key tips for that?
I think in crisis marketing, the key thing there is around honesty and openness, and sort of where your professional integrity is a badge of honor. Because if you can't be honest, if you can't be open, if you're not transparent about the challenges that you're wrestling with and ideally overcoming, then that puts you in a very difficult position.
In my experience with crisis marketing has to do with when a brand is in trouble or a company has something that they need to deal with. And then my advice is always to acknowledge the problem acknowledge what's gone wrong, be really honest, put yourself in customers' shoes and talk to them about what you're going to do to fix it. Don't try to work your way around it. Don't try to get away from the issue, sort of acknowledge the issue head on. And actually one of the most important things in crisis is to say that you're sorry.
Top tips for crisis marketing are, first of all, have a plan. And clearly crises don't go according to a plan, but having a manual and having a plan in place that can help you identify immediately who the key stakeholders are in whatever crisis it is, can help you get to your action as soon as possible. And that's the key, be speed, it really is. Secondly, ring fence your key spokespeople, and that might be the CEO, or if it's a cyber issue, your IT guy, so that they are primed for the communication piece. And then thirdly, put all that comms training to good use. Get out there and speak to your stakeholders. It's really, really important.
COVID has made every marketeer across the planet acutely aware of the need to be flexible, to be nimble, to quickly adjust to changing realities. But I think with marketing as a profession, that's integral to what we do. You've always got to be scanning the market for changes and how that affects your marketing plan. So I think what a crisis does, it just makes you it makes it more necessary to be scanning the market and changing as you go.
Business growth. Give us a strategy people should consider.
A strategy for business growth in under a minute. I think it's
no pressure.
I think the old rules have never changed. I think you need to understand exactly who your audience is and what they're looking for. And if you can deliver that solution for them, if you can take that pain away, whatever that pain may be, and do that in a way that is easy for them to understand and respond to, then you'll always succeed.
My top tip for a successful brand is know who you are and what you stand for, and then build a thought leadership and content communication strategy around it. So everybody, I think, sort of starts with digital channels and worries about the proliferation of digital channels, but actually where they need to start is, well, who are they as a brand, and what's their content going to be, what's their thought leadership going to be, and what do they stand for? And then once you have good content, it's actually only the second stage in the process to go worry about all the different channels.
My focus has always been, my number one goal has always been to have a consistency of brand message. It's absolutely essential. Sometimes that can be really difficult, particularly in the service industry, where maybe your touch points with your customers are individuals, and often they're buying into the individual and the relationship, and that's particularly prevalent in our industry. So you've got to be really careful not to, kill the golden goose with corporate messaging, but at the same time, ensuring they're all singing from the same hymn sheet is essential. And in my mind, the best way to do that is to ensure that your marketing strategy plan is endorsed right the way to the top, and all the senior stakeholders in the business are singing from the same hymn sheet. It's really important.
I have so many, but I think what comes to mind is that you've got to have a really unique selling proposition, something that actually sets you apart from the competition. Everyone will say they're doing the same thing, but what actually makes you as a brand or as an institution different? So you've got to have underlying principles that guide every single marketing activity that comes out of the marketing desk. And I think if you think of it in the context of a personal brand, you wouldn't do anything that goes against your personal values, because that damages your brand. And it's the same for a professional brand as well.
And finally, with social media, people are quick to post, but the platforms are very different, aren't they? So Instagram versus LinkedIn, what's your thought? What would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Well, we're not on Instagram as yet, and that's a deliberate choice as things currently stand. That may yet change. Our channel of choice is LinkedIn, because that's where we find our audience, and that's where we get the greatest level of traction. For all of those channels, you've really got to commit to them. You can't just dip in and dip out, because you won't get the traction that you're looking for. So I'd say with LinkedIn, or indeed Instagram, as long as you're looking at your content, pretty much every day, putting new stuff up there, and making it useful and interesting for the recipients or the people that are viewing your content, then you should be successful and see your audience grow. And we've certainly seen that from our perspective by committing to LinkedIn and investing the time in it, and occasionally investing some money as well.
I think every social media channel though deserves its own strategy. They're all quite different and they're not all appropriate for all brands. I mean, the one that you haven't mentioned there is Twitter or Facebook, and they're just as important and need their own specific strategies. I mean, I think LinkedIn is where most financial services brands start, and it's a great platform because it doesn't have some of the vitriol of the other platforms. It's quite logical. People are friendly. You can talk about business topics. You still need to have cut through. Instagram is, still kind of different. I think you have to have really good visuals, really, really strong visual storytelling, and then maybe focus in on just one idea for that channel.
Well, we use Instagram very much to show the personable side of our brand. We are a people business. Our clients interact with individuals, and so we use Instagram for showing the stories, the people news, the news items, interesting stuff. And I think that's really important, not necessarily for our client base today, but for future clients. They want to see the personal, the nature of the brand. And then LinkedIn is much more specific. We use that for selling in content, much more technical, because after all, LinkedIn is a really powerful network of people who A, might need or want our services, so we can help them in the future, but B, and more importantly, might well become advocates for our services.
I think social media has become this big advertising platform, but I don't think that's the way we should be doing things. If I put it into one sentence, it would be engage, don't advertise. Social media, is underpinned by social networking. It's underpinned by building connections, and you can't do that if your content is not, what your audience wants to engage with. You want them to click on the link. You want them to seek out your content. And that's why social media management is a whole branch, a separate branch of marketing. And so to put it simply, I'd say, engage, don't advertise.
Thank you, and good luck for the 5th. We really appreciate spending time with you, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen. Great to see you.
It's nice seeing you.
Very much, Karen.
I look forward to seeing you on the 5th.
Thank you to all of the voices we've just heard about brand and marketing excellence. If you would like to see more of this type of content, we have a YouTube channel, Citywealth, if you Google that, and we look forward to meeting you again there. Please, when you go to that channel, if you click subscribe, we will let you know about our upcoming content. Thank you and have a great day.